You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind.
With the emergence of global internet, a human population of several billions, an electronic noosphere, that we are now within the shadow of this transcendental object at the end of time.
I find it a little difficult to say what the subject matter is going to be, because
Magic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
Shake and bake, steps back, three-pointer, bang!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fine edition of the Midnight Variety Hour. I am, of course, your host, as always, Tom, joined, as always, again, by my lovely co-host and great friend.
Your boy, Adam.
My boy, Adam. Your boy, Adam. Everyone's boy, Adam. Adam, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm not everyone's boy. Probably during the winter break, I'm going to bring Brianna on, who's a good friend of our guest today, who's actually how I met Cody, our good friend and guest today, which I've been wanting to have you on for a while because you're such an awesome, cool, unique dude, and you make some badass drinks and cocktails.
Start blushing now. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you're a good-looking guy. So
I get it from my mama.
Well, welcome, man. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having me on, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Cody works at what, I guess, would you say you guys probably one of the best, if not like the best cocktail bar in Houston, Texas, the Ready Room?
I mean, it's fucking legit, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's legit.
Also, amazing live music scene. If you live in Houston and you enjoy live jazz music, there's probably no better place in the city to go and catch some fucking jazz music. So you mentioned you've been there since the start. You're one of the, partners. Or so. How long have you guys been doing the whole Ready Room thing?
We've been here for a little bit over 3 years, since 2018.
Okay, and we were talking about this a little bit before you came in. You guys were closed like 6 to 8 months for the pandemic.
Yep.
How was that, man? Just like being a part of, that on the small business side of things and the.
It was fucking stressful. Not to be. I mean, I'm pretty sure bars in the whole damn town.
Yeah.
Had it stressful. A lot of them shut down. A lot of them had to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was kind of needed for our end creatively.
Yeah.
Because we were just getting to a point where we were just packing the house every night, and there was no real, like, what are we doing as a program?
Sure.
So after that, it gave us time to think. So we kind of took that on. That's when we came up with the 6 new cocktails every week, like kind of keeping it fresh. And
that's a lot. Damn.
Yeah. We've been doing that ever since we opened.
So how many? I don't know if you guys have like a concrete figure, but like how many cocktails are y'all like? Do you have on like your cocktail menu right now? Yeah.
Right now we've got 6, and then we've got 4 staples.
Okay.
So that's around like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, that's fucking dope.
But we've done probably around the 260
okay
number.
Yeah, that sounds madness.
It's insane.
Yeah.
What are your staples right now?
Old fashioned, of course, because ever since Mad Men came out, everybody wants a fucking old fashioned. Old fashioned, we do an espresso martini. Again, because that's the new trend. We also have, a Victory Girls cocktail, which is kind of like a margarita riff. And then we also have a penicillin, I want to say. Yeah.
Penicillin?
Mm-hmm. That's after the Victory Girls.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
When I hear penicillin, I just think of the medicine.
That's what I'm saying. After you get yourself a Victory Girl.
Oh, I gotcha.
Go right for the penicillin.
Nice. Sounds like a good, good
and
strategy.
and these aren't your average cocktails, man. These are like, how would you call it? Like extremely detailed, like refined. Like, I mean, these are experts we're talking about. These guys have been in the field forever, and you work with Peter, who runs,
Clifton,
who's an awesome guy as well, and we should have him on one time too, because he's just a really cool dude. And these cocktails are like, I mean, top notch, man. And they're not your average cocktails where you'd go. They're not for everybody. I would say like, if one person would walk in and say, all right, just make me something, right? Just pick me anything off of the cocktail menu, right? And you just gave them whatever. Chances are that either they're gonna like it, but they're probably gonna be like, okay, this is super interesting and different, right? More so than this is like it's just average cocktail. Oh, anyone would like it. It's not for everybody.
I'm not gonna down it.
Right. It's not so it's really interesting because you really got to be, when you walk in there, be ready for like, all right, this is it's gonna be unique shit, right? So it's like, make sure you know what you like. You like rum, tequila, vodka, whatever it is, and then what are the flavors you want, some sweeter, more bitter, what is it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And know what you like, because you're gonna get some amazing shit, but it's gonna be really unique and interesting and fucking awesome. So it's some cool stuff, man.
What I tell people is describe your drink like you describe your eggs at brunch.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
What got you interested in, like, what made you guys want to open up this place and, you know, start this crazy, like, just badass cocktail place?
Well, it was there's one more name I have to name drop here. Ken Bridge, who owns Delicious Concepts.
Okay.
He actually found me and Peter out in Pearland.
Okay.
Peter was running a speakeasy concept, and I was like his right hand guy, like his consigliere, if you fucking will. And so he heard about what we were doing. We were still doing cocktails and all that kind of shit down there. And he found out about it. He had the Ready Room building, and he was like, "Hey man," he talked to Peter, was like, "Hey, do you want to like join up and help my Ritual when it first opened with the beverage program?
Yeah.
And then once that's all done, this building will be renovated and we can hand it to you."
Yeah, and so Ritual isn't there anymore, right? Last I heard, they changed.
Yeah, they're reconcepting.
Okay.
Korean barbecue is
Gotcha.
where they're going now. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And Ritual was a really cool concept as well. I mean, it was like kind of Southern style, but also had some great drinks and a great bar, huge beer menu and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of wine.
It's like 45 taps, man.
Yeah, and then like dry aged steaks and stuff like that. So really cool concept there too, which is where my wife worked. That's where y'all originally met, was Ritual.
Yep.
And shout out to my wife again. I love her so much. She's awesome. But you know, she like really brought me in to meet so many cool people like you guys as well. And then going in there and then like, and being able to sit at that bar and talk with the bartender, just super knowledgeable. Like you ever walk into a place and then you meet somebody and they just know everything about whatever that is, and like those are the guys. Like that's Peter, that's Cody. Like these guys are just super knowledgeable about shit. And it's, you can go in and just ask them anything you want about any drink, and they'll just easily be able to.
Yeah.
I mean, they have books in there, just like thick ass dictionary books of like every single cocktail, every single ingredient that's ever been in every cocktail, the history of it all. I mean, they know the history of like 1800s when the first fucking cocktail was invented and shit. Like
crazy.
It's crazy, man. It's a whole nother world, and
It's like our job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you know what I mean? Like you can go into every bar in town, and I guarantee probably like 2% of the people have the knowledge that you do.
Oh yeah, you're not going to Woodrow's and
That's what I'm saying.
asking for that shit.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, yeah.
You might get the history of some regulars, but you know,
Right.
that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, when did you first become just really interested in cocktails and drink mixing and just like the history of these drinks and stuff like that? Like, what got you into that?
That was actually, I got a name drop again. That was Chris Morris, actually. He
Okay.
works at Cal Ba now. Yeah, you remember Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a good friend as well. And he's been on Smoking and Toasting, which is the other show we produce, which you've been on as well.
I have.
A couple times with Peter. So, and y'all got to come in and actually make some cocktails and show what's up. So, if y'all want to see that episode, go to Smoking and Toasting. I'm sure you'll find that episode easy. But yeah, he's another one of those guys who's like,
He's a character, man.
He's in that world,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So,
Yeah, but I was working in City Center at a Texans Grill when it was open. It shut down now.
Oh, I remember that place. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was right next to Eddie V's and all that shit. And every Wednesday, because I heard there was an industry bar called the Burlap that shut down for some TABC crap or something.
Oh, wow.
And so we were like, well, fuck it, man. We want to become the new industry bar. Like, you know how many restaurants are in City Center alone?
Right.
So every Wednesday I would go down to all these restaurants and give out little industry flyers and stuff like that. And I saw this, what was it, a Milano bar. It was kind of like Ready Room is now, where it's like you don't know what the fuck it is on the outside, but when you see inside, it's like all dark, dim lit, and you're like, dude, do I got to dress up for this shit? They're gonna kick me the fuck out. So I got off one day and I dressed to the fucking nines. I felt like a jackass as soon as I fucking walked in, because there was some guy in an Armani suit immediately outdid my 22-year ass. And walked in there, and Chris was like hammering ice. I saw all these bottles. I didn't know what the fuck was going down. Tinctures, bitters. And I was like, huh. All right, this is new. Let's do this. And that's how it started.
So was it that it was just different, interesting, and you were just like, okay, what's in this? And so once you started getting into it, you fell more in love with it?
Pretty
kind
much,
of thing?
yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Instead of rocking shots and cleaning up vomit and stuff. I still clean up vomit and rock shots, but you know, it was kind of like, what's the next avenue of the career path?
Did you stop doing those? I went out with Peter one night, and he took me out to your turf in Pearland.
Aha.
We went out to one of these bars, and we were like
bogeys?
throwing ice at the fucking bottles.
Yes, the Ray Charles shot.
What?
We were taking Ray Charles shots.
What the fuck is a Ray Charles
I
shot?
don't know, he's got to tell you because it's fucking
Does it
crazy.
make you go blind or something? It's just like
No, it's
No,
he'll
but
tell you,
blind,
he'll
blind
explain
is
to you.
in the game. You got to be cool with the bartender to do it. Just don't start throwing ice at some bartender's
Gotcha.
back shelf.
Right.
You'll get kicked the fuck out. But what you do is you get 3 ice cubes. You close your fucking eyes, and then you just. It's kind of like that old Carney game where you ring toss.
Sure.
But whatever ice that bottle hits goes in your shot glass. So
Oh,
it's like
God.
three mystery bottles go in a shot glass. And you
That's
just dump.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, no,
Damn.
not chilled either.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We should do that sometime. We got to go out there and
Yeah, I mean, you could end up with a pretty good drink,
You could.
or you could end up with something that's absolutely terrible. Don't hit the Malort bottle.
No, hit the Malort bottle.
oh
Hit
god,
the Malort
Malort.
bottle with Stolio.
So everyone here has had Malort then, and I'm curious to get everyone's takes. Malort, go. What do you think?
You know, it wasn't that bad.
You didn't think it was that bad?
I think people over exaggerate. They get a little. I mean, it has this whole mystique and thing behind it where everyone's. I mean, there's all these phrases and sayings that people come up with, like Malort, the night you fight your dad or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's like getting picked on in the 5th grade.
Yeah,
Right.
so it's like, you know, but it is not a pleasant aftertaste. Like, the aftertaste is what's the worst thing to me because it just lingers and it stays there until you fucking brush your teeth or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's fucking wormwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What? So I mean, are you kind of in the same camp of where it's like
Well, I mean, I gotta like anything in a bottle, right? That's just I gotta.
That's not
I gotta
true.
Learn
You
to,
can-
I gotta learn to appreciate everything.
Yeah, I think
But
it's pretty disgusting, but that's
it
just
tastes
me.
like grapefruit skins dipped in diesel gasoline.
Which I can't imagine anyone enjoying, but I mean, that's a pretty good
You
description.
mix it with green chartreuse, though.
Yeah?
Now you got a rock star.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't know that.
That's not the name of it. I'm just
okay.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It okay. I'd be willing to try it. I'm down to try almost anything when it comes to liquor, and I'm not a big vodka guy, but I'll pretty much drink, almost anything.
No.
Is there like, do you have anything you just dislike, or are you pretty
No.
much you're open to anything?
I'm open.
Okay. What's your favorite? What is your favorite liquor to use in cocktails?
It's kind of hard to choose a favorite, man. I used to be a big rum guy,
Okay.
but now I'm just now I cater to the people. It's like, what are you looking for? That's
Right.
how I get my rocks off.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
what can I do to custom you to a drink, man?
What do you feel like most people like? Like, what is the average?
Vodka or whiskey?
Really? Okay.
That or tequila.
Okay.
Tequila's been kind of hitting it hard.
Tequila really has
Yeah.
been more and more popular, especially when people are starting to realize that it's not just fucking Blanco,
Yeah.
Jose Cuervo. And then you start to realize that there's aged tequilas and they actually taste really fucking good.
Yeah.
yeah.
That or mezcals too.
Yeah, mezcals are popular.
It just all depends on the character of people, really.
Right.
What are you, like some housewife from River Oaks? Like, yeah, you're gonna want fucking vodka, dude. I already fucking know. Light and refreshing, citrusy, maybe some soda.
Yeah.
You know, are you like a good old boy from Pearland? You want whiskey.
Right.
That's what you want. Yeah.
So Pearland, that's mostly the crowd out there.
Well,
Just like-
it was. I don't know about it now. I
Yeah.
haven't been back in so long.
I
but
can't believe there was like a speakeasy in Pearland. That just seems like
Yeah.
kind of like an alien concept for like when I think of Pearland, I don't think of some cool little fucking speakeasy concept.
Yeah, no one did.
Yeah.
No one did, but that's why it was so different. And people dug it, and the way they marketed it, it was connected to an Italian restaurant called Grazia.
Okay.
I
So-
know Grazia.
Yeah, so it was like adjacent to it. You had to walk through a PDT phone booth to get in there. But the way he marketed it was like, hey, come out, have a really nice meal, but if you're cool enough, you can kind of slide in here. And
Right.
he went to New York one fucking time and saw the concept and was like, I can sell that in Pearland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
And you've also been a part of like competitions, right?
I have.
So what are those like? And what's your experience with those? And like, how'd you get into them? What made you even want to compete in them in the first place?
Well, the Bacardi one I did because, Chris was in it. And I was like, I'm gonna take down this guy, mentor and all that.
Right.
It's kind of a Karate Kid fucking thing. Like I'm just, hey, I gotta take him down one
Going
time.
there with your bandanas, strapping up.
Yeah. But that was that one. And then I haven't really done too much because
Yeah.
the whole competition thing to me, it's more about branding. It's more about like what you can sell for that brand
Right.
instead of like what I can do. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't buy into it that much.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So if you win something like that, and do you get like recognition with your name or like?
Yeah.
would it be easier for you to maybe go move up in the industry, go work for a better place, or somebody who?
Oh,
is
sure.
it- yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So what you do is like, say, if one of the big ones like World Masterclass or something like that, or the
Right.
Bombay's Most Imaginative. Like once you get to like the higher levels, those are like international competitions. So once
Right.
you win for them, they give you like a prize to like a cash prize,
Right.
to where you can go and accomplish whatever bar design or dream that you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, they might offer you a chance to work for them as well,
Right.
as like an ambassador, like a brand ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Damn.
It's pretty badass.
it is. But
Yeah.
screw that, man. I don't want to be tied down, man.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you have the good fortune of working with people you know
Right.
and you love, and you're not working for some asshole boss who's just looking at his bottom line.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because we're all looking at the bottom line now.
Well,
You know?
yeah, but
But-
you have the freedom to be expressive and do
Right.
what you want. Like it's like no one's telling you, hey, we need. I mean, yeah, you have to cater to what's popular at the time, and now obviously, but you can still have the freedom to make what you want, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's like, for example, our espresso martini. Like it's not the staple. Like we make a Chinese 5-spice syrup. We do it a little bit different, serving it in an espresso mug. So it's like, yeah, it cater to the people. But we have the freedom and like the collaborative like creativity to be like, let's make it a little different,
Yeah.
to where like it still kind of stands out, it's still kind of cool, but it's still catering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, when you go out to other bars and you have cocktails there, do you find yourself like bored with?
Oh, I don't drink cocktails, man.
Oh, you just
I'm a
that's
beer and
fine.
a shot guy.
So you're just
beer and a
like the maestro that also doesn't enjoy.
Well, I mean, it's like I was telling you earlier. Like, if I'm a mac and cheese chef, the first thing I want when I get out is not fucking mac and cheese.
Right.
Like, I'm done with it. Like, I just want something simple.
That's fair.
Now, if I do have a cocktail, it's gonna be a Sazerac.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so when you're going out and you're drinking beer and shots, are you kind of just like a fucking Coors Banquet kind of guy? Or are you like a hardcore craft beer guy?
I was a Yellow Belly guy
Yeah.
until Yingling came in town in
Okay.
August.
Oh, okay,
Now
okay.
I'm straight
I've
Yingling.
actually been drinking a lot of Yingling since it's come to town, and I enjoy it.
You know what's the more Texas thing is Lone Star and Jameson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a Lone Star and then a shot of Jameson. I don't know why, but it is.
That's
I don't know if I've done
better
that combination.
Montucky, but you know.
Yeah. I've had a lot of Lone Star. I don't know if I've ever done Lone Star and Jameson. Is that really a common thing?
Yeah, beer and a bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that specific combination
Yeah,
of Lone
that's
Star
specific.
and Jameson?
Yeah,
That's weird.
it is weird.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm a Yingling and an old granddad.
There you go.
Or
Okay.
Hellcat Maggie, whichever one.
What is that?
Hellcat Maggie, it's an
Yeah.
Irish whiskey.
Oh, okay. I
Sounds
haven't
like a
had it.
band or something. Sounds like they'd open up for the Dropkick Murphys. Okay, Hellcat Maggie
Yeah.
is coming out.
Followed by Flogging Molly, you know.
Yeah, right.
Dude.
Holy shit.
Cody, what was that drink I had when I went into Ready Room? It was like a fucking.
It's a good one.
It was good. It had. It was a rum drink, and it had a toasted cinnamon. Thing
You
on
know
it.
when we first kind of opened?
I don't know when it was first, but
The
it was like.
strap?
I think it was literally like on fire almost. It was like still cooking when it was in my drink.
Yeah, it came in a snifter glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, the straps
That's.
It was
what
still cooking?
Dude, there was a
Yeah.
freaking cinnamon stick.
that we
like,
burned.
Was crisp and burning. Like was still like almost
Really?
ashing in my drink. It was
How do
crazy.
y'all come up with this shit? I've never seen shit like that anywhere else.
That's what I'm
And maybe
saying.
I'm not going out enough, but I mean,
I mean, it's out there. People do it, but nah, it's just reading and fucking, I don't know, drinking.
yeah. Okay.
Reading and drinking.
Do you feel like your palate is like so refined that if I gave you like a blind taste test of certain like very specific, or like let's say I gave you some cocktail you had never had before, do you think you could go, I know that this is in here, I know that this is in here, and you could just like break down all the elements just by tasting it?
I've actually done that a couple times, and I'm not gonna give myself 100%, but I'll give myself around a good 65.
Okay.
Yeah, that's modest. Right.
Yeah. And would you say, if you can compare yourself to any, like genre of people out there, would you say you're more like an artist,
No.
like a musician,
No.
like a painter?
No.
What are you?
No, dude, I'm just a fucking dude.
Fucking dude that likes to make
behind
good
the bar,
drinks.
man.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I know you're being humble and you're just being like, chill, but like there is an element of like artistry to it, right? I mean, you are crafting something that hasn't been created before. Like you're creating
Well-
something that is new, unique, and to you, it's like your creation, right? It's not anybody else's. I mean, yeah, you're taking inspiration from other people like artists do, but you're creating something that's delicious.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't consider myself an artist though, because
I
every
know you
drink's been
don't.
done. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been drinking for how fucking long?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
I'm pretty sure everything's been done. It's just when can we recycle through history to bring it back?
But there is an element of being good at it, right? There's
yeah,
there's
there's-
bad bartenders who try to do it and
Yeah.
aren't good at it, and there's good ones who can do it really well.
I'm gonna say less experienced versus
Okay.
more experienced. 'Cause I don't want to say anyone's bad out there, you know.
No,
on
there's
this.
there's definitely bad bartenders out there for sure. Just like anything else, man.
Yeah.
But no, man, I wouldn't call it artistry. I would just call it a craft. Like, you know, you get a welder in there and he can do a weld that's so fucking great. You know,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh my God, you're like an artist. No, I'm
just
just
a fucking
good.
welder. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. So do you have like, this extensive liquor cabinet at home, and are you
No.
like constantly fucking no?
No.
You just like,
I had one. And
Okay.
then when I was sober.
Yeah.
And then I was on probation at the time. So I was
Okay.
like, fuck it. Every paycheck, I'm getting a bottle of wine, bottle of booze. And
Yeah.
so when I got off probation, it's all gone now.
Right.
I can't keep booze in my house.
fair.
It's either I drink it or I give it to my neighbor.
I gotta move
Yeah.
in next to you, man. That's fucking cool.
Hey, do you still have your dog? How's your puppy doing?
Oh, baby girl, she's doing all right.
She good?
Yeah. She's still, like I told him earlier, she woke me up at 5 o'clock. It's like a religious thing now because that's when the crackheads get home. You know, so it's good.
Just starts, yeah.
She lets me know.
That's good. I mean, that's pretty good.
They start creeping by your house.
Well, they just walk in front of it and she just barks to let me know they're there. I'm like, yes, you already know them. That's
Yeah.
their routine.
Yeah.
They're good crackheads. They don't rob.
Oh,
for
that's
me,
good.
at least. Yeah.
The guys at my barber shop, which is in Midtown, they kind of like have started using the local crackheads as like their supply chain. So like the crackheads will go steal like Tide Pods and then come sell it to the barbers for like a fraction of the cost they
Oh
are in the
my
store.
God.
Or they'll be like, Richie, I need, and you'll just tell them what you want. And like a couple days later, they'll go steal it from CVS or like from whatever stores around there.
Wow.
And they'll just come back and bring it to you for like a fraction of the price.
Fucking hustle, man.
I know. Like men of industry, they're just out here, fucking Robin Hood, stealing from the big corporations and giving it to the little guy. It's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, it
You
works.
got to get in where you fit in, man.
True that.
what kind of dog is she?
She's a mix between a plot hound and a lab retriever.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, brindle coat and everything.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
pretty dog. It's a
Yeah.
pretty dog.
How old is she?
She's coming up on 3 years now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Adam's watching my dog on Monday. I'm going to Seattle. I have an Australian cattle dog,
Okay.
and she's super sweet. She loves Adam's house
Ladybird.
because y'all spoil her.
Lady Bird, that's a good
and then
name.
send her home to me.
Yeah, she is a spoiled dog.
Yeah.
Australian, that's a smart breed though. Isn't
Super smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. She like learns tricks in like a couple days. She's just like, she has like a huge personality. She's like, she'll come and like wake you up, and then if you ever like don't give her a treat for some shit that she knows she gets a treat for, she'll like lay in front of like places you're like trying to go so that you cannot like not look at her, or she'll like sit right by the treats,
Right.
and she'll just lay there
Right.
for like 30 minutes until you like finally go, all right. She's really interesting, man. She's got like her own little den underneath our bed, so she can perfectly fit under there. And she just uses that as like her little fucking headquarters.
Right.
Anything you give her, she'll just like take that shit down there. So if you ever look under my bed, it's like a fucking minefield of everything that she's ever just fucking dragged down
Right.
there. She's a cool dog. We want to get another dog, but we'll probably have to wait till we get somewhere with some more space.
Yeah.
I'm a huge dog guy, so
For
and I
sure.
know you guys are thinking about getting a dog soon.
Yeah. Probably wait till we have a yard and more space as well.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
guys recently had a bit of an experience with
Oh,
a
dude, a fucking
90-pound
Akita, man.
Akita that you guys were looking at adopting. I don't think we've ever talked about Kato on the show.
No, this is a massive dog, though, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Kato.
Yeah, so
Like
there's
a TV show?
Yeah,
Yep.
which is a great name for
like
a
it.
dog. So there's this other podcast that we do up here, which is sort of like this anti-animal cruelty podcast. These folks that have an animal protection charity, they do a show up here and they have guests where they talk to other people in the animal protection community. Anyway, a lot of times they will pay to keep these dogs at this really nice place called the Houston Dog Ranch. And it's basically like heaven on earth for dogs. So they'll take dogs off the street, and until they get adopted, they'll keep them at this place to sort of be like rehabilitated. There's all these dog experts there. And we went there a few times together to the dog ranch. Anyway, there's this dog there that they had, the people that run the podcast, they were keeping it at the dog ranch. His name's Kato. He's about a 90-pound Akita, American Akita, not a Japanese Akita, but an American Akita. And I was looking at possibly adopting him, and it just didn't work out because with me and my girlfriend's schedule, we're not home enough to take in this new dog, and then also we have a dog of our own, and it just kind of seemed like he maybe wasn't ready for a multi-dog household. However, Adam was like, well, you know, maybe we could look into adopting him. So he stayed, a whole weekend with you?
Yeah, for about 3 days, and it was like babysitting a 90-pound 2-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
That's what it is.
He's 24-hour, 24-hour like surveillance. I mean, luckily we had a big crate, so we could put him in the crate, and he liked the crate. He would go, or she, yeah, it was a he. Would go in there and sleep. Sorry, would go in there and sleep, and it was cool. So whenever we would go to bed, put him in the crate, and he was fine. But outside of the crate, he just wanted to. I mean, dude, watching this dog, like I was like, oh, let me get him a bone. You know, he'd probably love a bone. I'll give him a bone, let him chew on it while I'm
dog. Why not?
watching a TV show or something right at night. Dude, when he got his jaw on this bone, it was like watching savages eat for the first time in their life. I
Just
was like, what is happening?
Just primal mode kicked back in, right?
Dude, his eyes turned red, and he was just savage mode, just ripping it up. Like, and I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, hold up. I don't want him to choke on the bone, like, because he was just ripping this thing up like it was insane. And so I was like, all right, let me get this bone away so he can chill and calm down for a minute. I went and tried to grab this bone, and he looked at me and said,
no fucking bueno.
You better back the fuck up. And I was like, oh shit, I'll get it back. So we had to like distract him, like, hey, okay, like come get this or that, whatever, you know what I mean? Just try to distract him from the bone. And finally we did, and I had to get the bone, and I had to go like, throw that shit away. I was like, hell no, get that out of my house. But then I got him like toys, like a rope toy and stuff. And all he wanted to do was just rip it, like, you know how they swing their heads and stuff like that? But like when he's swinging his head, yeah, he would like boom, boom, throw it on the floor like that. And it was like, dude, like the power in this dog is insane. I was like, all right, this might be too much for me, man.
Yeah.
Let me, you know. But it was a crazy experience because like it's literally a wolf dog, and he's the type of dog. I mean, he's a super sweet dog, really nice, chill, come love on you, and super nice dog. But when you see him like in his primal element, like, you know, trying to rip something up or whatever, it's like you realize that these dogs, they're not just house pets, man. These are, we're literally taking these animals that were wolves, and this is the type of dog that'll make you realize that you're like, oh shit, this was a wolf. You know what I mean? And so it was a crazy experience, but you know. And
you would like fold a towel, and he would just go, oh, okay, I'll take that. Like,
yeah, there was one moment where I was folding clothes, and I put the towel on the thing, and he was like, oh, I like that. He went and grabbed the towel, and I was like, nope, that's not for you. And so I went and put the towel, like, you know, where it was supposed to go, hung it up or whatever. And he was like, you know what? No, that is for me. And he went back and found the towel, grabbed the towel, brought it back, and started ripping it up. And what he likes to do is put his paws on it and rip it up. And he just wants to rip everything. He just rips it. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, no, that's not happening here. So, yeah, it's just like in his nature, you know what I mean? And some dogs, it's just in their nature. And that's when dogs like that, you really got to have a yard and shit that they can tear up, and you know what I mean?
A lot of energy.
Some dogs, they just need that. Like, this is that type of dog,
And that was after he had spent a couple months at the dog ranch. I can't imagine if you guys had, like, tried to watch him before, you know, he had been, I don't want to say, like, rehabilitated, but, like, they really worked on him with his, like, aggression and his ability to, like, follow commands and stuff.
It was cool because he was still, like, fairly easy to walk. Like, he wouldn't pull you. He could easily just rip my arm off if he wanted to while I'm walking him, but he didn't. He was really cool, calm. Like, he was really well-mannered overall, but, like, he wasn't, like, he was potty trained, but he wasn't house trained. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't know how to operate in a household. Like, he just didn't know how to move properly. And that's why you had to watch him 24/7. So
take those big people-sized shits while you were walking him, probably.
Oh, dude, those most massive shits I've ever seen.
Gotta get the Target bags.
Seriously, bro. Ain't no regular doggy bags. Not picking that up.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so going from that experience to now, like, do you now know, like, if I get a dog, maybe he's got to be like a smaller dog, or is that still the size dog you want?
Well, he's like a large plus dog, plus large. You know what I mean? Like, there's large and then there's extra large. Like, he's extra large.
Anything over like 75 is like, okay, now this is a big ass dog.
No, I still want a large, like medium to large size dog.
Yeah.
And but I want a smart dog. That's why. And Kato was smart. He was really smart. But he would need training, and I just didn't have the time to train him at that moment. Especially with that large of a dog. Like, you can train a dog, but when you start talking about an extra large dog, it just makes it that much harder to train the dog, especially whenever it's harder to get things away from him and all this shit. So yeah, it's a lot.
Psychological on that shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tear up my towel, I throw away your chew toy.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're doing.
Right. Yeah. So
craziness.
But Yeah, man. I want to switch the topic real quick because I wanted to talk to you, Cody, about coming from a family. Your mom and dad were both deaf. Am I correct?
Yes.
And you also work with Peter, who is partially deaf.
Yeah, he's got some hearing loss. He can still hear for the most part.
Right.
He wears hearing aids.
Right.
It's just always been his thing. But yeah.
So I only brought that up to say, like, you come from, like, you're kind of in that community. You know people.
Yeah.
You know, and so like you kind of grew up around that, and like so, I think it's really fascinating because most people don't know what that's like, or probably know anybody that's deaf. And then I lived in Austin for a little bit, and I think that's where like the largest deaf school is in in Texas. I think.
TSID, yeah.
Or, and that was one of the first times I realized, I was like, dang, there's a large community of deaf people out there. And I was like thinking about it, I was like, wow, I've never met anyone like that. And you know, I wonder what that world's like, and I wonder like what is that school like, or what is the teaching like, or what, you know, what is that whole world like? And then I got to meet you, and I heard y'all started a couple episodes of a podcast called Coda, which I think is a reference to something else, right?
Yeah, it stands for Child to Deaf Adults.
Okay.
Yeah, which is what we are. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
it's a shameful podcast, man. We did 2 episodes, and we were like, we're revealing too much fucking shit here.
So what's it like, man? What's the world like? What was your experience growing up?
I mean, that's a loaded question, man. But
I know,
but it's you know, it's different. You know, when you have to be the interpreter for your parents all growing up. Like, Pete has a good one about a story where his mom went to the gyno, and he's like 7 years old, and he had to interpret that shit. Like, how do you tell your mother about her vagina?
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a stand-up comedy bit. Like,
Oh,
that doesn't even
totally.
seem like a real experience that anyone would ever have to have. That's so interesting to me.
Oh yeah, that, you know, it's, you get away with shit, but you can't
Right.
get away with shit. Like, for example, like I'd never used to sneak out the house. I just had to
Right.
walk out the front fucking door.
Right.
But if come back home, like, remember one time I was high on acid, and this was when I was like in Tampa, like I was like 19 or some shit. And I'm coming back home, my mom's just sitting there staring at my eyeballs. And you ever try to sign with the trails and shit? It's terrible. It's terrible.
That's fucking nuts.
Wow.
So you've probably been signing as long as you've been speaking English.
Yeah, it's my first language.
That's crazy. So what is it like learning to sign when you're like super little? You know, like, I mean,
I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, it's my first language, so it's like when you teach a baby, like, you don't have any collection of it. You just
It's
that's
just-
your
it's just
first
always been
language.
there, yeah.
Just like learning Spanish as your first language or
Wow.
whatever. Yeah.
that is really crazy. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in my house as a kid, the TV was just like always fucking on. There was always like some sort of like noise going on in the house. Somebody's like watching something or doing or listening. Was your house just always just like quiet all the time? I mean,
No,
like,
man. Deaf people make a lot of fucking noise because they can't hear themselves.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
It's ignorant sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you be watching TV, in a deaf household, the closed captions are always on, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, we still watch TV and movies with closed captions. Like, I'm sorry, if you're not a closed caption person, you can move on out of my life,
Yeah.
dog. Like, I'm not about you. But no, like, you be watching TV, they be vacuuming. You can hear them eating something. You can hear them on like the video phone back in the day, just making all kinds of weird fucking noises or hitting something in the garage. You're like, God damn, would you shut up?
And
for
they just
about
have no
2
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, do they have complete deafness, or is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. My girlfriend's mother has really bad hearing loss. She can still hear, like, if she doesn't have her hearing aids in, we have to like yell, you know. But I mean, with her hearing aids in, it's like, you know, she has no hearing loss. Like, it's completely fine. But I forgot like what % of her hearing she's lost, but it's pretty bad. And one of my favorite stories is I went to Sam Houston State University, and every spring they do a concert. And to please both groups of people at Sam Houston State University, they usually have a country act and a hip-hop act, because there's usually only 2 types of music you're into if you go up there. And
No rock.
no rock. It's
No,
like
no
you're
metal.
either listening to country or you're listening to fucking hip-hop. So this year it was A$AP Ferg, Waka Flocka, and they were opening up for Eli Young Band. So her mom was into country music. We invited her to come up for the concert, and we thought Eli Young Band was opening. So our original plan was we would go up there, we'd see the show, we'd see Eli Young Band, and then we'd leave. Well, we get up there and we realize we now have to sit through A$AP Ferg and Waka Flocka with her mother. And she's like, oh, it's cool. I'll just take my ears off. She just took her hearing aids off and slept through Waka Flocka and A$AP Ferg. And they were going so fucking hard. I mean,
I'm sure she could still feel the vibrations
I'm sure.
going through her chest.
But she literally just like, click,
Right.
And she just like was like, all right, you guys just, let me know when Eli Young Band comes on.
Wow.
Then Eli
Just
Young
tap
Band
me.
came out and she was like ready to enjoy the concert.
Wow.
And I was like, what a fucking flex.
It's like a superpower.
Yeah,
almost.
I know. It was so crazy. But it was just like you're watching this woman who's never listened to rap in her life just sit there and peacefully sleep through a fucking Waka Flocka concert. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's legit. Mm-hmm. At least I didn't have a half-assed interpreter up there.
Yeah, I know. I've seen people do sign language at rap concerts. Like there's that classic video of the woman signing to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And like when she signs for like suck my dick or
Dick?
something
Oh,
like
I've
that.
seen that
It's
shit.
so fucking suck my dick. It is so fucking funny. But I mean, I've also seen a video that came out recently where there was a woman who was just fired. I think it was in Georgia. She was doing interpretation for some like governor or the mayor
Yeah.
of some city. And it was revealed that she absolutely did not
Had
know
no
sign
fucking
language,
idea.
and she was just up there bullshitting. And she had been employed
She
for
was
like
trying to get
years.
a check.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
then
what it
like
was.
someone in the deaf community reported her like, "Hey, this person is up there just doing nonsense."
Wow.
But this wasn't like the only time it had happened. She'd been working for years interpreting shit, and it was just nonsense.
No one said anything.
Oh, it's been happening for years, man. Trust me, I grew
That's
up in
so
this shit. I can see my parents right now like, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
Like, even the closed caption sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
whatever happens, happens.
that's so crazy. So,
Cody, can you interpret? Oh, all right.
You get to stand by the TV.
Yeah.
and I imagine it's like it has to be something that can be passed down genetically, right? So I'm sure there was a high chance that you were born deaf and you just avoided the odds, or
There is genetics in it. My mom was born deaf. My dad was deaf at the age of 3. Like,
Okay.
Peter's he comes back 5 generations deaf. And he was
Whoa.
born hearing, yeah.
5 generations? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
is there any chance that you have hearing loss later in life?
Oh,
Or
I'm pretty damn sure.
okay,
But I'm prepared.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you've been signing for
Wow.
so long, it would just
Yeah.
be like, okay,
If anything, it'd be a welcome.
yeah. You can just like work while crazy music is going on. You just sit there and just do your job, not fucking worried about anything.
That's what happens already with the jazz music.
Yeah.
Because me and Peter actually sign at the bar.
oh wow,
Because you've been to Ready Room. It's kind of
Yeah.
a smaller venue. So when that music's
It's loud.
hitting,
it's
yeah.
loud in there.
Yeah, but you're not, you're sitting, you're enjoying the show, so you're expecting
Right.
it to be loud. But there's no
Sure.
point in me yelling across the room. So we just sign back and forth because it's fucking easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
that's pretty badass.
Get out of a couple tickets too.
Yeah. Have you ever tried like describing music to
Oh, yeah.
someone deaf? Like it. What is that like? How,
It's tough, man. My mom will ask me all the time, what's it sound like? I'm like, oh, music, mom. Like, you feel the beat?
Yeah,
Just go with that. There's no point in me explaining to you what a trumpet sounds like.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, I get it.
yeah.
right.
I'll just be like closed caption. It's soft. It's mellow.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
'Cause I know like music is such a huge part of a lot of people's lives where it's like that's their thing. It's like music gets you through things and
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like. So I was just curious, like, man, what it would be like to never have heard a song or music. It's kind of hard to imagine. I can't even
Yeah, you
fathom
just feel the beat. My dad was
Yeah.
a big Backstreet Boys fan growing up. That was fun.
really.
Yeah.
Damn.
They got me in Pearland. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a real fun experience.
Cruising down the street listening to.
Oh yeah, but he would like the beats, and then he would look
Okay.
up the lyrics to the words, and
Okay.
he'd have me match up the words to the beats.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wow, that's so. As someone that's like just been hearing my whole life, it's like it's hard to even imagine like not being able to hear music the way I hear music.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, there's a show on app. Do y'all have Apple TV?
I did the
I
free
don't.
trial and it just expired.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there was a movie on there called Coda.
Okay.
They did a really decent job.
Yeah.
Of doing it how it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was a musician, so I guess that would be like
Gotcha.
a perfect example.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. You know what I really enjoyed was Sound of Metal. Did you see that movie?
I have not.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Wow. Okay. So Sound of Metal is this.
Pun not intended.
Yeah, it's a really it's a really good movie. Last year it was actually nominated for Best Picture. It didn't win, but it was nominated for a lot of things like Best Sound Mixing and some other stuff. But basically, it follows the life of this metal drummer played by Riz Ahmed. I don't know if you've seen him in anything, but one day he just like his fucking hearing just goes out one day, just like
No.
out of nowhere.
My wife is a drummer.
Yeah, and he struggles with losing his ability to fucking do what he's done for his whole life. And so Anyway, he struggles with a heroin addiction and losing his hearing. He relapses, and then he starts living at this deaf school, and he kind of just like tries to make peace with the fact that he's never going to hear again. Anyway, he ends up getting like a cochlear implant, or like he has like surgery, and it clicks on, and it doesn't sound anything like what he was He thought it would just go back to like the world sounding
100%,
like
yeah.
But it's just like his struggle with like his newfound life as a deaf person and trying to like cling on to still being able to be a drummer, but just the way that they mix the sound in the movie and they try and get it as close to like how a deaf person would experience the world. Like you're hearing this movie through sort of like what the experience would be for someone like him. It was really well done. If you ever have a chance to watch it, I think it might be on Prime. It's a Prime original movie.
I got Prime.
Yeah. So watch Sound of Metal if you get a chance. It's like maybe 2 hours long. In my opinion, it was like one of the best movies of 2020. So check it out. Yeah. And Riz Ahmed's acting is crazy.
It won a lot of awards too, right?
Won a lot of awards. There was a guy in the movie who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Right.
It won Best Sound Mixing, Best Sound Editing.
Yeah.
So really good if you have a chance.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I'll definitely fucking check it out.
And I think that's when I first like got really interested. Well, I wouldn't say like really interested, but that was like my first exposure to like what that whole world is like. Because for me, it's completely alien. You know?
Yeah, that's what for me too. I was like, I never knew anybody. You just don't know. You know what I mean? You're just ignorant to the fact that it's out there, and I'm sure it's like that with a lot of things. But you know.
Yeah, they keep it hush hush.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for sharing that, man. I was just curious about. And I'm glad you talk about it. So.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
I'm an open fucking book. So.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Well,
Not with Braille. That's a thing. A lot of hearing people think that deaf people like read in Braille, and it's like, why?
yeah. What?
Yeah, it's fun.
That's very interesting.
They just associate the
Deaf and blind.
blindness the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool to learn Braille just to do it, though. You know, like I would love to learn sign language probably more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, but like Braille would be cool too.
I've tried to like just play with it sometimes, like like elevators or certain things, like or like on the side of like signs they'll have like right under it in Braille, and I'll just kind of close my eyes and touch it just to see what.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'm like, how the fuck, man? I'm like, hell no, I can't.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like I can't associate the difference. Like I guess there's like spacing, how to know how much space is in between one, and then there's like also different spacing in between the dots of a certain letter. So it's like like I guess the length of the spacing between one dot from the next will dramatically determine what letter that is. I'm like, how do you do that, man? It's insane.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
Why
a
don't
really
they just
crazy
raise
system.
up the letters? That's what I've always thought.
I know.
As a
I
child.
thought about that too, but I guess like somehow that would take longer. Like that would be, I guess like it's more fluid if you can just run your hand over the dots. But I just feel like if I
Like
was
shorthand?
blind, just being able to move my finger over the letter fucking A would make my life easier than the dots. I don't know.
It's like Morse code. I don't get that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, so you hear a lot about like blind people when they lose their sight, they have their other senses become heightened. Does the same thing happen in the deaf community at all? Like, do people who are deaf have a heightened sense of smell or taste or vision or anything
I'm
like
gonna
that?
say yes, just in my family alone, because they're very observant.
Okay.
Very fucking observant to where they can read. So how we portray tone and like kind of like, or if I'm angry as a hearing person, I'm gonna fucking yell, right? My voice is gonna get a lot different. They do that on their face, so they're able to look at you and kind of tell what mood you're in and do all that kind of crap. So they're very observant people, which we use behind the bar all the fucking time.
Right.
Yeah. Which is why when you ask me, is there a favorite? I'm like, no, I just read you.
Yeah.
Just like, here you go. Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
We should get some like deaf detectives in the police force. Like, this guy's fucking lying. This guy killed those people. I can see it on his face. Yeah.
Fun history fact: Santa Ana, how he was caught was a deaf guy.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's a statue of him by the battleship.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Deaf Smith.
Deaf Smith?
Yeah.
Sounds like a rapper, but that also sounds awesome. Fucking Deaf Smith. Oh shit.
Damn,
Yeah.
that is cool. Yeah, that immediately when you were talking about reading people's faces and reading like body language and stuff like that, immediately thought about like CIA people in that like intelligence community who are like specifically trained on those little things, those very specific things, and it really is just all about being aware of details, right? And any detective, you got to be very like acutely aware of like details. And that kind of sounds like what you're describing.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Wow. That's fucking crazy.
it is.
Well, I definitely want to get out to the Ready Room sometime soon. Maybe this
Let's
weekend.
It's a good time, man. It is a good time.
Are you guys open like 7 days a week or 7 nights a week?
No, we used to be pre-COVID. Post-COVID, now we open Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay.
We do live jazz Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but Friday and Saturday, you have to book an appointment,
Okay.
which you can do on our website.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. How quickly do those go?
If there's not a World Series game going on, we book out probably a week in advance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just so y'all know, like the environment in here, it's dark.
It's intimate.
It's intimate. It's like it's a smaller space, and you got this big bar. The bar really is like the dominant feature in there, right?
Yep.
You walk in and it's boom, there's this beautiful bar back there. You got Cody's beautiful face, whipping up these like flipping stuff around, boom, 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 boom.
In candlelight.
Yeah, and he comes out, and they'll come out and serve you. Like if you're sitting at the little lounge area, they'll come out, bring a drink to you. It's really cool, man. And then a lot of times in the corner they'll have this either someone on a piano or the drums or whatever, and it'll just be rocking, man. It just really, I mean, the talent they get there for the jazz, they're awesome, bro. Like. It's not like just your average, whatever. These guys are in there killing it. And then sometimes, like, at one time I went in there, there was a guy who would go up and they'll give you a chance to go sing or something. Or if you're, if you know your stuff, they're like, all right, feel free to come on up and, you can come sing a song. What song you want to listen to or play? They'll play, like, some whatever you want, man. It's pretty cool.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, it's just like a little, like, vibe fest, man.
Dude, it really, it's almost like you walk back in time, kind of, too. It's got all wood. It's a really cool environment.
Would you say that is that still like a speakeasy concept, or
I wouldn't say a speakeasy because it's a whole ass building.
Okay, so
there's no like hidden entrance.
To be a speakeasy like concept bar, it really has to be kind of more tucked away, like more true to the speakeasy nature.
Right. Like what's that one bar in somewhere like called Sugar Room or some shit?
The Sugar Room, yeah.
Yeah,
that's exactly what
like
it's called.
Speakeasy where there's a hidden
you gotta like go
door,
through somewhere else to get in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a whole ass building with patio furniture.
Okay.
Like
yeah, right across from a little Woodrow's or whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Which is where I go to drink.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, I'm a history guy. I love history, everything about history. What is your favorite story of like the history of like either a drink, a certain cocktail, a certain liquor, or anything like? What's a cool story that's just fun and interesting for you that you find?
There's a lot of them because a lot of our stuff is named after Houston history.
Nice.
Like Victory Girls, that has history attached to it. The Second War, those were like Mexican chicks from like 16 to 19 during World War II. They were the ones that would go after the soldiers and stuff.
Oh
like,
shit! Yeah.
Like sleep with them and stuff. But they're also like liberating female bodies.
Were they the ones that would like kind of like carry ammunition with them or stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless it was like herpes or something.
Okay, I don't know if they like actually helped them fight. No, okay.
Yeah, no,
So-
they were the chicks when the soldiers got back from war. They
Gotcha.
would, go party with them.
Gotcha.
Hence victory.
Right.
But one of the cooler ones I found was the De La Rock cocktail that I made. So you've heard of Natsua?
Natsua.
There's a bar down
Yeah.
like somewhere in Houston called Natsua. It's Houston spelled backwards.
Right.
Ah, okay.
So
I've never
It's on-
heard of
it's
it or
on,
been there.
Washington, right?
I think so.
It's on Washington.
I never been, but one of the cool things, and I'm not talking shit about Natsua or that bar program, but
Yeah.
the name behind it's a little fucked off. So back in the early 1900s, Houston was obsessed with Mardi Gras in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and we were also obsessed with naming shit backwards for some fucking reason.
That's
I don't
weird.
know. But so they wanted to have their own Mardi Gras, so they named it Natsua, Houston spelled backwards, and they had a king as well as Mardi Gras. King's name was King Nottok, which is cotton spelled backwards. And they would have all the black people make the parade, build the parade, do everything for it, and then they weren't invited.
Wow.
Well, they was early 1900s, right? There was
Holy
still
shit,
bigotry
yeah.
fucking everywhere.
Sure. Especially
So-
down south, yeah.
Yeah, and they got shunned away from it, so they said, fuck that, we're going to make our own fucking thing, and they called it De La Rock, which is colored spelled backwards. Wow. And they had a king, but their king, I can't pronounce it was like Emancipation, all this kind of long-ass shit spelled backwards, but yeah. And they still hold the festivals in Houston every year. I don't know, after COVID, but before they did.
Wow. Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And so you learned this going through just like the history of Houston, trying to figure out what drinks what would inspire you to make a certain drink that's kind of inspired through the history of Houston, because you do like a lot. I remember one was like based on Third Ward.
Yeah.
One was based on
Second, Fifth, Sixth, yeah.
right. So that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
We do a bunch of it. Like right now, I have one on the menu called Happy Hollow, which is what the theater district used to be called. It was literally a red light district.
Wow.
Whoa.
Happy Hollow.
Wow, okay. Makes sense.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. cool.
We should have Mr. McKinney and Cody get together. We had a Houston historian
Yeah,
on
okay.
the
Oh, that's
show
dope.
maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he knew shit about Houston that I had never even I've lived here my entire life, and I
Dude,
never fucking.
he knows the fucking cornerstone brick that was built on the house, on the like just weird. Like you're like, how the
Like
fuck?
you'll just be like going through the heights or whatever, and he's like, okay, now this building, it was built in this year by this person. His favorite food was macaroni and cheese, and he would eat that every Tuesday while he built the building.
Right.
I'm like, who are you? How do you know this shit?
Yeah.
And he has a best friend. He has like a buddy who's obsessed with like aviation history. He has another buddy who like he knows all these other historians, and they get together and partner up on these
Dude, that just
history
reminded
tours.
me, I'm gonna reach out to him and ask about his other friends because I never asked him about his other friends. Who
I know.
were into
He
that.
had that one guy, the aviation history guy. That's who I
Yeah.
want to talk to. He had some crazy last name like Bloodworth or like
Yeah. It was Bloodworth.
Yeah,
It was,
something.
yeah.
I know he sounded like a villain, like whatever his name was.
Wait, so we've got the guy from You talking about he ate mac and cheese every. You seen that show You on
No,
Netflix?
I know
My
what you're
girlfriend
talking
watches
about.
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that,
No, I know
that
what you're talking
stalker,
about.
that
Yeah,
stalker
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
got that guy. Then we got Bloodworth. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we love history, so
Yeah.
anything to do with Houston history is really cool to me. So I'd love to like do some drinking, and through drinking learn some more about
Yeah.
Houston. Fucking
F&A,
pretty
man.
cool.
That is another cool thing. You order one of the drinks, you're like, oh, what inspired you to make this? And then boom, here's a whole story and
Yep.
the history of it and all that stuff. It was like, wow, we love it. I mean, and especially in this day and age where everything's like saturated and it's like, you know what I mean? There's no like texture or like,
Depth.
like depth to it at all. It's just
Yeah.
like, here it is. And then that's it. you
Yeah.
know?
What
So-
was your inspiration? Oh no, I was staring at some corn the other day, man.
Yeah, or it's just really shallow. It's just like kind of it's just there, and so with this, it's like, what's better than getting a badass drink and then also getting a little history fact behind it?
Yeah.
And
Fucking
a
awesome.
building that has history associated with it.
Yeah. So
Right,
what is the
done.
history of the building?
So it's over 100 years old, but it started
shit.
off as a woman's meeting hall for the Heights, and then it became a little mom and pop food store. Which, if you ever been to Little Woodrow's across the street, there's that house directly next to it. The owners used to live in that house,
Oh shit.
but it was mostly known for being the old Ready Room, spelled REDDI, from like the late 40s all the way to the late 80s, early 90s, and it was like an off the beaten path blues dive bar.
Okay.
So you had B.B. King, you've had Stevie Ray, Lightning John Hopkins, Big Mama Thornton, like they all kind of ran through there. But it was really cool. It used to be part of the Chitlin Trail too, which was like the deep south like blues circuit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it did that and then closed down, and then it became like a nail salon, a fucking cigar,
Right.
fucking like sports
That's
bar,
crazy.
and then us.
Wow.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cool name for a soul food restaurant. The Chitlin Trail. Yeah, come on down to the Chitlin Trail.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to open that.
Yeah. No chitlins for me, man. Can't do it. But
Not
yeah.
bad when you put hot sauce on them. Actually,
Yeah.
I just
just a little
can't.
hot sauce on there. It's great.
No, man. Just the smell for me and everything. I don't know. I'm not a chitlin guy.
Just take that with some Malort, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just don't be in the house. Just don't be in the house when they're cooking them. You let them bring them. You eat them outside. Just take it
Yeah.
outside and you go eat it out in the backyard.
Go sit on
don't
the
go in the
patio.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What well, I know we've like gone drinking a lot together, but I don't think I know what your favorite thing to drink is. Like, what is your favorite liquor?
You know, liquor or what? What do you?
yeah.
asking?
Like, what's your favorite liquor to either have in a cocktail or just to drink on its own?
You know, I love variety. Like, I'm not a guy who just sticks to one drink and drinks that. Like, I will go in there and I'll try something new all the time. Like, I love trying something new. You guys, Cody, I'm like, Cody, what are you whipping up, dude? Just, I want to see
Yeah.
what's inspiring you right now. What is it that's your favorite right now? Like, I'll always ask people, hey, what's your favorite thing that you love to drink right here on this menu? And I'll try that. Just because I love variety, I don't like having the same thing all the time. But if I do want something like that I know is going to be good, like I'll have like a nice red wine. Like I love red wine and things like that. So, you know, that's how I am. That's kind of like my personality
Right.
too. I'm super everywhere with everything. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I'm a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I pretty much like everything. I'm not a big vodka fan. I'm getting more into gin. I like gin, but I really like bourbon. I like tequila. So, yeah, I think sometime we'll have to get down to the ready room and I'll have something with some bourbon in it. I'll have something with some gin in it, and then I'll try something that I've never fucking had before, and we'll just go from there.
Sounds like a fucking plan, man.
All right.
If you're ready, I got the room.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. And
That's what we should name the episode.
yeah, that is exactly what we
Ready?
should.
We got the room.
Yeah, and let's just spell it backwards. Just that
There-
whole
there
sentence,
you
but
go.
backwards.
Yeah. If you're ready, we got the more.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, Cody, thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for
and
having
we
me.
really appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to plug or shout out before
Nah.
we call it? No, just go drink at the Ready Room.
Hi, Mom, if you can hear this.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Well, then until next time, do some drinking, learn some history, and learn some sign language. Until next time, folks, stay safe out there in the cosmos.
Peace, y'all.